Hi everyone, my name is Erin, and today I'm going to just give a little bit of a discussion on my transition, my background story, why I became vegetarian, and then why I became vegan, how it's been, the struggles I've had, um, and that kind of thing. So, I guess to give you a little background about um, like my childhood, I grew up in a regular meat and potatoes kind of family. My grandmother is 100% Italian, so a lot of meats, chicken, and I mean, since I can remember, I had chicken nuggets from McDonald's and Big Macs, and I never connected being or the animal with the meat product. It never connected for me, and I mean that nobody in my family was vegetarian. I didn't know any. I didn't even know what vegetarian was, um, and so yeah, that was my life. Growing up, and then I would say I was 15. Um, I This is actually really funny. I bought one of those like teeny bopper magazines, and I read an article about JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and he was like, my heartthrob. I had posters all over my wall from him, uh, and he talked in the article about why he was vegetarian, and his main reason was slaughtering. And I read the article, and something, I mean, I'll never forget, just clicked for me. And at that moment, I connected animals to hamburgers or bacon. And I just remember being completely and utterly disgusted. Uh, I was, I remember feeling stupid about how I did not make the connection or care prior to that. Um, so it was not an overnight thing because my family, being 100% Italian, or on my grandmother's side, and being raised by just my dad, and it was me, him, and my little brother. Uh, I decided to slowly cut out different things to kind of make their transition easier. I knew it wasn't going to be that bad for me. So I cut out red meat, um, and gradually I cut out poultry, and then the last thing for me, which was the hardest actually, was giving up fish. And I mean, I'm not sure how long the transition was. It was probably a few months. But eventually, I was vegetarian. Uh, and my family grew to understand and be okay. They were okay with it. Uh, my grandmother, I think, was the hardest, and my grandfather were the hardest people in my family to kind of understand why. And going over there, on summer vacation, or when I moved there when I was 18, she'd still try and get me to, are you sure you don't want this piece of sausage or piece of chicken? And she still does that to this day, so I don't take it personally. It's just how she was raised, and she doesn't understand, but she accepts it now. Um, but I always said I could never become vegan. People would ask me, about veganism or about vegetarian, and I always said I could never give up cheese. It's never going to happen. Um, I thought vegans were extremists, or um, just I didn't understand it. Uh, as far as like other animal products, I did cut out a lot of leather. I didn't cut out at all, and that was when I was vegetarian. And then I was 29, And I remember sitting at my computer, and I didn't have a job at that point, and I was just, on the web surfing, trying to find something. And one of a girl that I used to work with shared on Facebook Gary Yourofsky's speech, The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear, I think it's called. And it was like an hour long, and I watched that, and I was like, oh my gosh. He talks about the dairy industry, and the way that he describes it was just, again, one of those aha moments. It clicks for me, and I said, I think maybe I can try this. And I forget what month that was in. It was sometime in the summer, I believe. And then in September of 2012, I wanted to go to the Toronto Vegetarian Festival. So my friend and I packed our cars, we rented a hostel, and we drove up to Toronto. And it was one of those weekends where I'll never forget. I had a lot of fun with my friend, and I was able to listen to Colleen Patrick Gaudreau talk and Rich Roll. And Colleen, I loved her speech, and I loved her presentation, and the ethics behind everything, and it made sense. And then as far as Rich Roll, I didn't know if I kept thinking veganism, can you be an athlete and do that? Even though I have friends that I've made in the vegan community before I was vegan, who are very supportive and are still friends to this day, even if I haven't met them, they have, welcomed me with open arms and helped me with the transition. And I can't even describe my thankfulness to everyone, and I know you know who you are. But yeah, that weekend, it was that weekend I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this, I'm going to become vegan. And again, it was more of, a transition. So that was at the beginning of September. And I figured by my 30th birthday, which is November 26th, I was going to be 100% vegan. So I gradually, my biggest fear was the cheese and giving it up and worrying about if I was going to miss it or the cravings. I wasn't so concerned about the supplements or the vitamins or anything like that. I was more worried about missing it. So my friend and I got back, and I started experimenting with different recipes, and my friend is an amazing cook, so we used a lot of recipes with Daiya cheese, and I knew that it was going to be okay. So I cut out stuff gradually, and on my 30th birthday, that was it. I became vegan. I had a vegan potluck party where I had all my friends. None of my friends that I'm close to are vegetarian or vegan, but they supported me. They brought vegan food, and it was a lot of fun, and I really couldn't have asked for more. Since becoming vegan, it was fine for a while. I didn't have any issues, and then I started having some stomach problems. I went to my doctor, and after trying different things, his assessment as far as why I was having a lot of stomach problems is that I probably have a gluten sensitivity, not necessarily an intolerance. And because when I became vegan, I was eating more seitan and wheat products, that he thinks, who knows? I didn't get tested for celiacs, but he thinks that because I was drinking milk and having a lot of dairy prior to becoming vegan, and now I'm I was overloading my digestion with wheat products, that my stomach wasn't coated, and it was causing me problems. So I tried the whole gluten-free for a little bit, which I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already vegan, which kind of, the Pittsburgh community was amazing, and I was able to find a lot of places that had vegan options. I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm now vegan and now I'm going to have to be gluten-free. So I cut it out, my stomach started getting better, and that's when on Instagram I was following all kinds of vegan food and everything, just to get kind of more recipes and suggestions and whatnot. And I met my Beachbody coach, and she suggested trying Shakeology, and I tried it for 2 weeks, and I started incorporating more wheat products into my diet, and I didn't have any problems. So I now drink Shakeology every day, and I don't have to worry about the issues that I was having, which were horrible. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So I drink that every day, and it clears all my stuff, the insides, my digestion is fine. And it has obviously all of my nutrients, so I don't have to worry about that. And it's vegan. So moving to Philly, I haven't had really any issues here as well. I mean, my family has been supportive. It hasn't. I mean, my grandmother still doesn't understand a whole lot as far as like what vegan means. She knows that I don't eat cheese anymore, which again took her a little bit of understanding and patience, but it's gotten better. And yeah, like I can't thank my friends and the vegan community enough. I don't think I could have done it on my own, or I could have, and it would have been a lot harder. But the support that I've gotten, the community is just, it's overwhelming. And the amount of friends that I have now that haven't even met yet, it's overwhelming, and I love it. And I think, I mean, that's as far as like the health issues. Now I don't have leather, and I don't, do the honey, anything like that. I got a vegan tattoo, because, I mean, this is my lifestyle. I will never go back. And as far as, I mean, that's the health aspect, but as far as like the ethical, I mean, I have a clear conscience now. I can go to bed knowing that I cause as little harm as possible to innocent beings. And I mean, what else can you ask for? I would love to in the future do more activism in the community, and I would love to do more volunteering at an animal shelter. I was a dog walker for a little bit, and I would love to get back into that, or doing some kind of work on a farm with pigs, which is close to my heart. So yeah, like, the reason I transitioned to vegetarianism, obviously, and veganism was 100% ethics, but I have also reaped the health benefits. I feel so healthy being vegan. I can't even explain. Just from my transition, because when I was a vegetarian, I gained a lot of weight. I was unhealthy. I was unhealthy vegetarian. You can be an unhealthy vegetarian. I gained a lot of weight, and it was very hard for me to lose that weight. When I became vegan, I noticed that I was still eating healthy, or I was eating healthier, and my weight was coming off because I wasn't putting all that added fat into my body that it didn't need. So, obviously, there's the ethical side. I am happy that was the reason why I became vegan, but I also am reaping the health benefits as well. I haven't had, I mean, my levels came back not that long ago where, I mean, the only thing I was deficient in was B12. And I, I mean, I do take supplements, probably not as much as I should. Uh, but we're wondering if I don't have the intrinsic component that absorbs B12. So we're trying to figure, I'm going to go to the doctor and figure that out. If I just have an absorption problem as far as that. But other than that, everything came back great. I mean, that's the only supplement that I need to take, and that's amazing being, vegan. And I'm not really surprised at that either. I get a lot of questions as far as protein. Where do you get your protein? I think that every single vegan has heard that numerous times. I mean, I eat beans, I eat peanut butter, tofu sparingly, and I don't have any problem with protein. I mean, if you look up where you get your protein, everything that you eat has protein in it, including vegetables. So considering that I eat mostly vegetables, I don't have a problem with that. What the future holds, I would love to experiment with becoming raw. Again, I'm at that point where I was vegetarian and said I could never become vegan. I'm at that point where I don't know if 100% I could become raw, but I'm willing to see what it's like. I'm dabbling in whether or not to do the raw till 4 or 5 and see how that goes. Yeah, go from there. And if, hey, who knows, in a year or two I could be raw vegan. And I don't think there would be anything wrong with that, because I know a lot of raw vegan individuals, and they're healthier than I am. So if you have any questions about becoming vegan or even becoming vegetarian, I know that a lot of vegetarian, especially vegans, I have only had amazing support, but I know that some can be kind of harsh, and that's not my personality. I am all for animal rights, but I'm also not for shoving my opinions down your throat, because I don't think that doing that is going to change anybody's opinion. My viewpoint is to make everyone as aware as possible to what's going on in the world, and you can make your own choice as far as that is concerned. But if you have any questions about transitioning, supplements, what to eat, what my daily eating thing, guide is, any kind of question at all, you are more than welcome to ask me. I don't bite. And yeah, feel free to comment, share, like, and yeah, if you have any questions, just email me. All right.